In this video we will be talking about the Crane M2s, a very specific gimbal, but probably the best choice for a lot of you out there. Hey, what's up guys, Julian from smartphonefilmmakingpro.com here, the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. And one question that I get basically on a daily basis and basically every day like 10 times is, which gimbal should I get? Will this gimbal work for that phone? And variations of these. And also a question that I get very often is, but what if I want to use an add-on lens? But what if I want to use a case? And what if I will upgrade my phone in like half a year to a bigger, heavier phone? And you know, with a lot of the normal smartphone gimbals, you are quite limited. Most of them have a payload of around about 300 grams. And when you have a big phone and when you add a case and then you want to also add something like an add-on lens, you are at the limit very, very quickly. And also if you are pushing a regular smartphone gimbal to its limits, it just won't perform as good and as smooth as it does with a normal setup. So one solution for this problem is actually getting something like the Crane M2s, because this has a much bigger payload compared to all the other different smartphone gimbals that are out there at the moment. One benefit that the Crane M2s has is not only is it a smartphone gimbal, but also you can use normal cameras with this gimbal. Of course, you cannot use like a big cinema camera with it, but in case you have something, I don't know, like a Sony a7S Mark III or something like this with a light lens, you can also use this. Or in case you have a Sony RVX100. And one huge benefit that the Crane M2s has over basically all other smartphone gimbals is, with this gimbal, not only can you use smartphones with cases and add-ons and basically everything that you want to attach to it, but you can also use this gimbal with some lighter normal cameras. So I know that a lot of you out there are also struggling, like, should I focus on smartphone filmmaking, but maybe I want to buy a camera in the near future and then I don't want to have two gimbals. And for all of you that have these thoughts, I think this gimbal is a very good option for you guys. The Crane M2s weighs 550 grams, and of course you can feel that this is a little heavier than the regular smartphone gimbal, but to be honest, it's also not like it's super heavy and you could not use this for a longer period of time, so that's of course no issue at all. But on the other hand, the motors are of course also way stronger compared to other smartphone gimbals. With this one you can carry up to 1 kilogram, and of course if you think about it, if you're using a smartphone that weighs around about 220 grams for example, you can add a ton of different add-ons and lenses and filters and so on, so you will never run into the issue that the motors are not strong enough. On the other hand, you can also use this gimbal with regular cameras. Of course, you cannot use the heaviest cinema cameras with this setup. This, of course, will not work. But in case you're using something like, I don't know, like a smaller shooter, like the A7S or something like this, you can use this with a lighter lens. So it has to be below 1 kilogram, but it's very cool that you have the flexibility that not only can you use this with every smartphone, and basically I can tell you that this will be future-proof because phones won't get heavier than 1 kilogram. At least I hope so. And you also have the flexibility that you can use it with your normal cameras. Generally speaking, when it comes to the smoothness of the shots with a smartphone, I can tell you that they are absolutely perfect. I did not have any issues at all. Basically, they look like you were shooting them on rails. So yeah, on a smartphone, it's very nice. And when you're using it with a camera, it depends on what setup you're using. If you're using a lighter setup, I was trying it with a Panasonic GH5 and a 12 to 35 millimeter lens. And this is pretty much pushing the gimbal to its limits, and you can feel that it is struggling a little bit, but I still managed to get some very usable and very steady shots. So generally speaking, yes, you will get some very smooth shots, but of course you need to just practice your skills, and that's of course also why we have created Smartphone Filmmaking Pro. And in case you want to learn more about filming with your smartphone, you can check out our free webinar where I share the top 5 secrets to shooting cinematic videos with your smartphone. But now let's come back to the gimbal and let's talk about all the modes that this gimbal has to offer. The gimbal has several different modes. Of course, you have the standard follow mode, the pan and follow mode, you have the locked mode, you have the POV mode, and something that is pretty cool with this gimbal is you also have the vertex mode, and when you access this mode you can make a full 360-degree rotation like you could do, for example, with the Zhiyun Smooth 5, and you can create some very cool and creative shots with that one, also some cool transitions, of course. And in case you were wondering, like, can I also shoot vertical video with this one? Yes, you can do that. It actually has a separate vertical mode, and then the gimbal basically does everything for you, and then it's vertically. But to be honest, if the main videos that you are gonna be creating are vertical videos, then I would look elsewhere, because it does work and it works no problem at all. But the workflow and the way you have to hold the gimbal when shooting vertical video is not ideal in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, in case you only want to shoot vertical video, I would maybe look elsewhere. The battery of the Crane M2 is also very solid. It lasts over 10 hours with a smartphone, and it only takes like a little over 1 hour to get it back to 100%, so that's very nice. You can definitely shoot a full day with that one, no problem. And another small bonus that is also very nice is that this gimbal also has a light built in, and you can change between the different color temperatures. You can change between the light quantity, so in case you need a fill light when you're, I don't know, interviewing someone or filming a person, you can use that, and that will be very handy. So to sum this video up, I can very much recommend that you check out the Crane M2s. I have been using it for the last couple of months, and I was using it a ton. It creates amazing shots, and like I said before, in case you're thinking about, I don't know, maybe I want to use some heavier setups and add-ons and lights and, I don't know, even a microphone maybe, then a gimbal like this is definitely the way to go, because it just offers you a lot more flexibility and you will not be limited by the payload. In case you only want to shoot with your smartphone without any add-ons at all, then probably this gimbal is not the perfect choice for you. Something like the Smooth Q4 or the Smooth 5, or I don't know, maybe even the DJI OM5 is the better choice for you. In case you're interested in seeing the other gimbals that I have just talked about, then definitely make sure to check out my channel, because I have several different comparison videos on the channel. But that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you have any further questions, make sure to write it down in the comments. And in case you have not subscribed yet, then make sure to do so, because it's helping out the algorithm and it's helping out the channel. So thank you. But that's it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.